Well, good afternoon and welcome to Real Conversations. I am your host. I'm here with Lizbeth Loreto. Lizbeth is a real estate agent and investor here in Washington State, and she has been helping people buy, sell, and invest in real estate since 2005. So trust me, she has seen it all: crazy markets, bidding wars, interest rate shifts, you name it. She's also proudly bilingual in both English and Spanish and has become a trusted go-to resource in the community, especially for families that want real guidance, real answers when it comes to buying a home, selling a home, investing, and building wealth. So please join me in welcoming Lizbeth Loreto.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Okay, so we're going to go in the Wayback Machine, and I'd like to know what did you do before you were in real estate?
I used to have my own business, a small convenience store, for about, I will say, 13 years.
Okay, so where did you grow up?
I grew up here in Seattle. Yeah,
Actually, I
moved
meant
in,
to start there. So you grew up in Seattle.
yes,
What
yes.
part?
Redmond, and then Kirkland, and then moved to Monroe, and then Everett. Yeah.
Oh,
hmm
okay. So all your life. So let's talk about high school. What did you think you were going to be when you grew up?
Oh, attorney. I
An
wanted to be
attorney.
an attorney so bad.
Ooh,
Yes.
tell me why. Did you watch like an attorney show on TV?
No, no, it's just the passion of rules, the law, the right thing to do, the guidance, helping people, it's that was my dream job.
Okay. So you thought you were
Career
going to be an attorney. Where did you go to school?
in Mexico, Guadalajara.
Oh, okay. So you went to Guadalajara in
hmm
Mexico
Yes.
University.
No, it's high school. And then I moved
Oh,
here from high school. Yeah.
okay. Okay. Got it. So you moved here in high school. Okay. So
Yeah.
you get to high school. Then where did you decide to go to college, or did you?
I pretty much from high school decided to start having my own business. I kind of want to be on my own since kind of
What?
like
Where did that come from?
My family, my dad, he always owned his own business, and I help with his own business too. And since I was probably like 12, I was, in the cash register, and it's just kind of being on your own. And I just got used to it. And, finishing high school, yeah, my first job was, like the 8-hour normal job that everybody has, but I still felt like it was not me. It was like I want to be on my own since.
Mm.
So, yeah.
So, how did you start your first business out of high school?
Well, no, not out of high school. From high school, I started working for Safeway, the ice cream plant. And I was there for about 15 years.
Wait, ice
And
cream plant
ice cream plant.
called
Yes.
Safeway?
Yes, Safeway, well, Safeway, the grocery store Safeway, they used to have back then, 1990, something like that, the bread plant, the dairy, um, ice cream plant, and everything. It was in Bellevue. It's still, I think, in Bellevue.
Oh,
So I was
yeah.
there for about 15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were working at an ice cream plant for 15 years.
Yes.
What'd you
And
do there?
what? Oof, oh my goodness. I start packing ice cream. I was a packer. That's how you
Mhm.
start. And then I move up from packer. I start working in the shipping department. And then after the shipping department, I start working in the freezer, which I kind of hate. It was too cold. And then after that, I got the shipping managing department. So I was, kind of going up slowly. So
Mhm.
yeah, it was a fun
Well,
place, but
when do you get to taste it?
whenever I want to.
Oh,
I,
really? So you get
yeah,
that
yeah.
is
But the production department, it was on the other side of the building, and I also worked in making the vanilla ice cream, and then I used to be the vacation relief, which I had to learn every single position in the factory. So
wow.
every time someone will go on vacation, regardless on with the time, because it was kind of like a 24-hour place, I will
Mm.
work days, I will work swing shift, I will work graveyard, and then whatever the position I had to cover, I had to learn everything. Um,
So
s-
essentially, you made yourself more valuable over time there,
mhm, mhm. Yeah,
like
yeah.
by learning new skill sets and all that stuff.
Yes, yeah.
That's cool. And that is then after that is when you start your business.
Yeah, it was still bugging me to work for someone, having to clock in and clock out. And that still bugged me. It was a great job, good benefits, good paycheck, but it was still like, this is not me. This is not me. I'm not going
Mm,
to retire out of this place. That was my
yeah.
goal. So, and then I started my own business. And it was a small convenience store, a small Mexican grocery store, the first one in Everett, ever, ever, ever. And it
Wow.
was kind of fun because, okay, it's my own business now. But again, it was still long hours,
Yeah. And
long
how are the
hours.
margins in grocery stores?
What do you mean?
Profit. What kind of profit margins do you have?
It just depends. Um, my produce department. I had the meat department. It was getting big, big and
Hmm,
big, but it was just, I don't know. It was probably 40% back then.
that's
And
pretty
then the
good.
competition start happening. A lot of grocery stores start popping up.
Well, especially since you're the first, Mexican grocery store. So
Hmm.
that had a niche there for a while.
Yeah.
And so you see that you're building the business, but competition's coming, reducing the margins, the profit margin, right?
Yes and no. It was really not about the competition. It was about a lot of work. It's still
Okay.
my own business, but it's still I had to be there 7 days a week because
Mm,
it's hard to find the right team,
mm.
the right people, the right employees. Long hours,
Okay. So
but
this is
it's
where you start thinking about real estate then.
it's when it started because I was helping people, a lot of clients, repeated clients. But then I thought, okay, this is great. It's my own business, but it's still not, I don't have the flexible time
Mhm.
to decide whenever I want to take a day off or vacation. You cannot do it when you own a grocery store unless you have the right team.
Mm.
So I thought, okay, what can I do to still be on my own, but decide whenever I want to have a day off, and is still continuing working with people.
Hmm.
So that's when I started my real estate career. And it
Okay.
still took me about a year working both things to get the business going and decide to sell the grocery store.
Essentially, so you find yourself sitting there going, I can't stop working because if I stop working, I'm not making any money. To I need something that still pays me the same kind of money, but I can be more picky and choosy about when I'm working.
Yeah,
But you work pretty hard right now though, don't you?
I do. I do. It's just me, I guess. I mean, I have more leverage with my time per se,
Hmm.
and I can decide when I want to take a day off or vacations, and I don't have to ask anybody or anything. So, and I have an amazing uh, people around me as far as lenders and escrow officers and titles that I rely on, where I can still work during vacation. Not that I like to do that, but I can still take my laptop and continue working. But it's less stress, I guess, than a
Right,
grocery.
because you can kind of do the most important things and then delegate some of the other to your team, to your whether your lender or closer or transaction
My
manager,
transaction coordinator. And
coordinator.
I'm not a team, I'm a single agent. I've been a
Right.
single agent since forever, 21 years, and I like that.
Yeah, because it's you control the process. It's great. I
Um,
think that's a big misconception that a lot of people have with Keller Williams is that all we do are teams. And
yeah,
here you've been selling real estate since 2004
five.
as five as an
Mhm.
individual agent.
Yep.
Um,
Mhm.
and are always are in our top 5% every year. So let's talk about that first year because I think a lot of people run around and are frustrated in their first year and they don't get a lot of business. How did you go from working two jobs essentially, real estate and the grocery store, to transitioning? How did you handle that from a time standpoint? Because I guess you had kids at the same time too, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
Okay.
had my two
So how did
boys.
you manage that?
Um, It was a lot of work. It was a little stressful, but I was able to um, hire the right employee that will take over what I was doing at the time to concentrate more in real estate. And then I don't know what it was then, but I mean, maybe I had a lot of sphere, I will say, and friends and family. But in the first month, I started getting super, super busy that I thought, okay, I need to let this grocery store go. I need to sell it because I cannot do both. I had to make a decision. So,
Okay, so what I hear you say is you tapped into your relationships that you had developed probably from the grocery store
yes.
and said, "Hey, I've got this service I can provide you." How quickly did word of mouth about what you were doing travel, and how much did your relationships leading up to that play into that?
Oh, I started having transactions in the first month, and I will say 80% of my sphere in relationship, and then referrals after referrals, and it's nonstop. So
So what is it about you? What is your superpower?
I am bilingual. I will say that it helped big time. Um, the Hispanic community rely a lot of on people that can explain better in their own language.
Mhm.
So by being bilingual, it helped a lot too. And I am a very patient agent. I'm
Mm.
not pushy at all, and I get that a lot from clients that they really appreciate that I'm patient enough to explain the process without making them feel the pressure of making a decision. And I think that's what they like about me.
Mm. Is being patient in this industry is a definite asset, right?
Oh,
Because a transaction takes at least 30 days to close. Not always, but
mhm,
mostly.
mhm.
So in addition to being a patient person and bilingual, what else helped you on that journey?
Um, I will say that my clients can tell that I care about them first and not a profit. They can tell that I am concerned about a good decision, a good advice, and I think that also helped me a lot.
I love that. So being um, how did you get up to speed on the process in that first year? So yeah, I mean, there are those things coming at newer agents. It's number one, you got to build your sphere of influence if you don't have one, and that's a big issue. Number
Mhm,
two, you've got to be patient with the client. You can't have
mhm,
commission breath, right? And number
mhm.
three, learning the forms and the contracts and the process of writing and negotiating offer. How did you balance that? And how did you learn that quickly?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I always, even till now, I like to be on, taking classes, be up to date on changes, on the forms. And I started working real estate when the market started going really, really bad. So I learned how to take advantage of also the bad. Um, Times, because as a real estate agent you have to learn both, not only when
Mm.
it's the great time, when it's like you can sell homes anytime, but you have to learn how to manage the bad times too and take advantage of the bad times.
Okay, how did you take advantage of the bad times?
Well, back then, I was the only one in the company working short sales.
Mm,
Every single agent avoided short sales. They were like, no, is this short sales? I'm not going to touch it. And they will call me, do you want this referral? It's a short sale. It's like, okay, learn how to do it, because if you don't, what we saw that it was coming in the market back then, you're going to have to find another job. So I was
mm,
the only agent, and probably who is listening to me back then that knows me is like, I was the only agent working on short sales. And I was in the office probably like 12 hours a day, busy with
mm.
short sales. So what I did, I took advantage of whatever was happening in the market and I learned how to do it. Back then it was still agents can still do short sales.
Negotiations. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the rules change, as you know, now only attorneys. But back then, I was closing short sales. I mean, my listings obviously took a long time to sell, but I had up to 30 listings at a time and slowly closing them. But I also help people, and that's the thing that it's coming back to me slowly. Back then, people that I help not to sell, to negotiate a lower monthly payment, a loan modifications. I did tons of loan modifications then. And people will thank me because instead of me saying no or, yeah, let's put your house in the market and short sell it, we tried loan modifications first. And I helped them to keep their home. And now, 10 years, 6 years ago, the same clients that I was able to help to keep their homes, now they're ready to sell with big profit.
Big
And
profit. Yeah.
yeah, so it's just to learn the market and how you can still help people instead of, running away. There's always, you can still make money when there's bad times. That's what I say. So,
Well, and when I started in the business was 2006, so a year after you, right? So faced the same kind of thing.
mhm,
And I went after whatever the challenge was, I was going in that direction. So it's very similar to you. It's like, hey, you know what? We're going to lean into that because the easy transactions everybody can do, including me. But the tough transactions are where you take your patience and you take your attorney's like passion and skills and you put that together with caring for the clients and saying, we're going to negotiate this. And all of those things lead to just all your businesses by referral now, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
all these people that I was able to help, and again, because I was caring for them, I made, what was it, like $300 for a loan modification, when I heard other people were charging thousands. But those clients are coming back. The kids of those clients are coming back to me. So it's just a matter of really liking what you do and not being a salesperson. That's how I see real estate.
Well, integrity is doing the right thing when nobody's watching, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so for you, your integrity is important, obviously. And the people knew that before you started real estate, and that's why they flocked to you when you got into real estate because they were like, here's somebody that speaks our language, that
Mhm.
understands this process, and has integrity.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
I guess in conclusion, as you look at the current market today, what are the challenges that you're facing, and or that buyers and sellers need to know about?
Well, starting with buyers, the buyers that got used to the good days as far as interest rates goes, try to teach them and make them understand that those years 3% 4% was an opportunity. And if they let it go, if they were not able to jump into that wagon per se,
Mhm.
it is what it is. But make them understand that the market, you can't really measure the market. If you, as a buyer, if you have all the qualifications and if you can still afford, don't wait just because you don't like the number 5%, 6% interest rate. You can change that later. So if someone can afford it, so be it. The interest rate is just a number. It's just the fact of having your own home and the memories and how the family feels better and secure, the atmosphere, even their own um, how the family, the kids feel about being in their own home is just priceless to me.
Yeah.
As far as if I'm talking to a buyer right now, I try to explain, don't look at the number. And I tried to go back years and years. People were buying homes back in the day with 15% interest rate. Did they care? No, they thought about the family, the fact of being a homeowner, if they can afford it. Now, if there is a buyer that is, has got a lot of debt and the credit is not ready, obviously we'll help them to get there, because when you're not ready, you're not ready. But if
Hmm.
you have everything, the only thing you need to do is like be mentally prepared for that change as a buyer. For the sellers, yeah, there were great times, multiple offers, and you can ask whatever you want for your home, but that is changing, obviously. So we have a little bit of both right now,
Hmm.
the balance. So that's how I see it. And I try to explain the seller, what is it, what you want to do, what you want to sell? Do you have to sell? And I have stopped clients from selling right now because I can give them the other options of, you don't have to sell if you want to move, and then I start doing the numbers. If you can rent the house, keep it as an investment, trying to look out for the client only,
Hmm.
not just for the listing and the check, trying to find all the options, give them all the options and make them decide. Now, if a seller has to sell because they have to sell, whatever the situation is, lost a job or they're relocating and whatever, okay, well, we'll do it that way. But I try to give them as many options available so they can see, okay, oh, I have this option, I didn't think about it, or nobody told me about this. Because I
Mm.
get clients that unfortunately worked with other agents that can say, "Mm, nobody said anything about this other option. I'm glad you're mentioning." So, yeah, they see the difference.
I love that. So as you consider um, the the um, the career of real estate, and somebody is thinking about getting into real estate, what is your number one piece of advice?
Well, first, you have to like it. It's not for everybody. I've seen people that come and go. You
Mhm.
have to like it. You have to be someone that has the patience. I say that a lot. You have to have the patience. You have to be prepared. Maybe for people that don't have the sphere or a lot of friends that they will rely on, okay, maybe make a little bit of a budget, 6 months of emergency funds in case, so they don't throw the towel on the first month or the second month because they don't have a paycheck.
Mhm.
So I will say it's an amazing career. For me, I wish I would have known this long time ago, but I think I made the right decision then. My advice is learn, always learn, be on top of changes. You can make your own decision if you want to be on a team or if you want to be a single agent. That's, totally fine. Some agents do better on teams. Perfect. Some agents like me, I do better by myself. So, but yeah, I mean, it's an amazing career. I can pretty much make my own hours and work from home a lot now with the technology. And that's something that you also need to do as a new agent. You have to take advantage of technology. You have to learn about the technology, social media. You have to have social media. And yeah, and the referrals will come slowly if you are a good agent. And please be make sure you're looking out for your clients first.
Yeah,
That's what I always say.
I love that. So essentially, it comes back to your foundation is patience, caring
Mhm.
for people, know your contract, know your stuff, and
Mhm.
treat your clients with integrity. So
Yes. Oh,
um,
absolutely.
love
Yeah.
that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. It was fun to hear about coming from Guatemala. Is that what you said?
No,
Oh, no,
Mexico.
Mexico. What city in Mexico? I don't want to say
Guadalajara.
Guatemala.
Guadalajara
Guadalajara.
is a
Oh,
big
that's what it
city.
was.
Yeah,
But
Guadalajara
okay.
is a big city. Yeah.
Okay. So from there to Sia Redmond and
Uh-huh.
ice cream factory. That's cool.
Ice cream plant. Hello to my friends that are still in ice cream plant. Still, they haven't retired, but slowly I see friends that are retiring. And
I
new
bet you've
friends.
helped some of them buy
Oh
houses, right?
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
those relationships right there. That's my point is like through relationships from the ice cream plant to the grocery store to
mhm.
real estate, those
Yeah.
connections. Yeah,
And
that's
and
awesome.
this is the other tip that it's helping me a lot, Dan. You have to have the right tools. You
Mm,
have to have the right CRM, and
mhm.
you have to keep in communication with your past clients, no matter how many years ago you had a transaction with your clients. You have to keep in touch with your past clients.
Yeah, because if you're
That's
not, I
gold.
will.
That's gold right there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they will forget about your name. So yeah, just communication. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you again. It was a pleasure. And yeah, well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.